Guys, this lady is making over $2,000 a month just by reading children's stories. And I'm going to show you guys how you can recreate this channel and basically start making passive income on YouTube with very little to no skill involved. So this is going to be the perfect niche for a beginner to start making money on YouTube with. And literally anybody can do this. If you see, she only has 12,000 subscribers, which is not a lot at all. But if you look at her most popular videos, she has a video on here that from 1 year ago that has 1.6 million views. And look right here, it has, she's getting 412 views per hour. 412 views per hour on a video that she made a year ago. So if you think about it this way, every single one of these videos is basically a separate passive income stream for her. And I'm going to show you how you can recreate these videos with AI completely for free. This is a faceless channel. And if you wanted to, the easiest way to do this would be literally to just go get some kids' books, set up a camera over top of the book and just read out loud. But if you don't want to use your voice on these videos, I'll show you how we can recreate this whole channel just using free AI tools. And we can even write the books ourselves using AI, of course. So I'm just going to head over to Claude.ai and I'm just going to paste in this prompt right here. I'll put it in the description for you guys so you can use it as well. So now what we're going to get back from this prompt is the entire story as well as a prompt for each page. So that way we can have our illustrations for each page. And we also have a title page as well as a illustration prompt for the cover of the book. So we got the book title, we got the prompt for the cover of the book, as well as a 10-page story, and every page is going to have a prompt for the illustration for that. All right, so now that we have our story, and as you scroll through, you can see that I have 10 pages here, and every page has an image prompt. Okay, so now that we have that, we can go ahead and start creating all of the images for our book. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is come over to Microsoft Edge. Now, if you don't have Microsoft Edge, you can download it for free, or you could just search up on Google Microsoft Image Creator and you could find the same tool. That way you don't have to download Microsoft Edge. So once I open that up, I'm just going to go ahead and copy every one of these image prompts, and then I'll place them one by one into this image generator. And now Bing is going to create these images for me for free without ever having to go to Fiverr, without having to hire a graphic designer. We can get everything done for free with AI. Okay guys, so just like that, this is what Bing has created for me. And I think all of these are actually really good. Now, I think this one looks the best, but since there's no dinosaur in the background, I think I'll just go ahead with this one. So I'll click on this image and I'm just going to click on the 3 buttons right here and I'll click download. All right, now that that's downloaded, I'm just going to go back and I'll head back over to Claude and I'll come back to, and now I'll move on to page 1. We have the cover of the book taken care of. Let's move on to page 1. I'm just going to come to the image prompt right here and I'll copy that. And I'll go back over to Bing and paste that in. And now Bing is going to create the illustration for page 1 for me for free without having to get on Fiverr, without having to hire anybody, without having to pay any money. So this is going to be a passive income stream that we can do for zero cost. And you guys know that I'm all about the free tools and free methods to make some money online. Because a lot of times if you look up, all right guys, so as you can see, the images that I got back were a little more realistic than what we're going for. So if I take a look at the prompt, let me just copy the prompt and place it back in here. Now, if you take a look at the prompt, I'm just going to add something, a colorful illustration. In order to try and match this picture here, I'm just going to go ahead and copy a young adventurous boy instead of this part that says Juan as a curious Latino boy. So let me just replace that. Okay guys, now Bing created the images. I really like this one right here. He looks very similar to the boy that we had on the cover. I'll just go ahead and download that image. Okay guys, now we have the cover of the book done, and we also have page 1 done. Now all I'm gonna do is go through and repeat those exact steps in order to get all of the illustrations done and to speed up this process for you guys. As you can see, I have every illustration for each 10 pages as well as the cover of the book. So now that we have all the illustrations, our next step is to get the voiceover. So I'll show you how to do this completely for free. Just come over to clipchamp.com, and I'm just gonna go ahead and sign in and click on create a new video. And I'm gonna go over to this tab on the side that says record and create. Then if you go all the way down, you'll see something that says text to speech. Make sure you guys click on that. And now you'll have a box over here on the right. So now what we're gonna do is copy the whole story and then paste it in on Clipchamp's text to speech generator. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy the title, and I'll head over here and paste in the title. Now let's go back to Claude. And now I'm going to copy page 1. Make sure that you guys aren't copying the image prompts, only copy the text for the pages. I'm going to go ahead and repeat the process until I've copied every page, until I've copied the text from every page and then pasted it into Clipchamp. So I'll come back in 1 second when I'm done doing that. Alright guys, now once you paste in the entire text into this box here, you're going to want to choose a voice. Now, if you click on the voice box, you can see if you scroll down, they have a lot of voices from you to choose from. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and choose Aria and choose whispering, and I'll just click on save and it'll bring it over to the timeline. All right, so now that we have our voiceover, I'm just going to go ahead and click export. And since we're only going to be using the audio, you might as well just export it as a 480p file. That way it'll be the fastest at exporting. Now our voiceover has been exported, and the final step is we're going to open up CapCut and we're going to put all these elements together and we're going to finalize our video. We're going to put the finishing touches on our video. Now, for those of you that don't have CapCut, it's totally free and it's a great video editing software with a ton of features. So if you guys want CapCut, I'll put the link in the description below for you, and that way you can download that and you can get started on creating your videos. It's completely for free. It's not a trial. It's all the way free. So go ahead and click the link and download it if you don't already have it. Now, once you have it open, you're going to go ahead and import. All right, now I have all my images in here as well as my voiceover. So the first thing that I want to do is bring in the cover of the book, and I'll just add that to the track. Now that I have this image on the timeline, I'm going to come over here where you see this ratio box. I'm going to click that and click on 16:9. All right, so now that's the dimension that you want your video in for YouTube. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this image over to the right. So now we have this half of the side of the video is empty or blank, the left side, and the right side is taken up by that cover of the book. So I want you to do is just right click on this clip and come up to where it says copy, and now paste it. Now we have a duplicate of this clip. Now drag that duplicate over above the original. So now you have 2 clips of the same thing. Now up here on the player screen, I want you to drag and slide it over until you're matched up with the other one. Now you have 2 images, same images side by side, and I'll show you in just 1 second why we're going to do that. So come up to the effects and we're going to type in blur. Okay, and now we're going to blur this screen. So I'm going to drag it onto this duplicated clip up top, and I'm going to drop it onto there. And that looks perfect. I might want to bump up the blur just a little bit. All right, now that's perfect. Now we have the same image on the left hand side, but we have it all blurred out, and I'll show you why I did that. Now come up to the top and click on the text tab, and we're going to add in a default text, and we're going to move it over to this side, to the blurred side. We're going to move it over to the blurred side. And now I'm just going to type in the title of our book, Dino Discovery in the Jungle. And now I'm just going to click enter after all these words, or before all these words. That way they're on multiple lines and they'll all fit on this blurred side. Now what you want to do is change the font to something nice. Now, all right guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this one right here. It's called Xi Palette. And now what I want you to do is click on the effects tab. We're gonna find an effect that I like to use, this gradient white to yellow. All right, so that's perfect, just like that. Now what I want to do is bring in that voiceover. Remember, this is a video clip, so I want you to right click on that, and we're gonna choose extract audio. And I'm gonna right click on that video clip now, and I'm just gonna delete that. Okay, so now all we're left with is our voiceover, and now we can play it just to get a feel for how it sounds.
Dino discovery in the jungle. One was exploring the
That sounds good. Now, so guys, now all we have to do is make sure that our book's illustrations are lining up with the voiceover and that they end in the right place. So as you can see, I trimmed it back a little bit. The title as well as the illustrations, I trimmed them back a little bit so that they end right after she's done talking, right after she's done narrating the title. Now what you want to do is repeat that same process. So we're going to go through and add all of these images. So I'll start with the first page, and I'm going to do the same thing, except for now on, we don't need to add in, we do not need to add in the text. All we need to do is add in the images, and let's drag it to where it's lined up with the voiceover. Now don't forget to drag the duplicate over to the left hand side and also add that blur effect onto it. And we're gonna do the same thing for the illustrations for every single page, and then I'll come back to you when I'm done. As you can see, I went through and I added all the images. I duplicated them, moved them over to the side, and add a blur to all of these images. All right, so I've made sure to line all the pages up with the voiceover. Now, the reason why we don't type in the text over here ourselves manually is because we're going to use this really cool feature from CapCut. So go ahead and click on text up here, and then go over here on the side and click on auto captions, and we're going to click generate. Let's just play it real quick and see what I'm talking about.
One was exploring the dense jungle of the Amazon when he stumbled upon some odd tracks in thick mud.
You could see the text how it is right now. Now I want to make it a little bit more interesting than that. So let's zoom in real quick and let's select the text. And now we're going to move it over. So I'm keeping the words to like 1 or 2 per line. And that way we can fit all of our text over on this left side where we blurred the image so that it pops out. All right. And on the right side will be the illustration, so they could see the illustration and they can also see the words clearly. Now, the next thing I want to do is click on font. And also, if you notice real quick, it says apply to all and it's checked. So that way, whatever we do to this one little text box here, it's going to apply the same effects to all the rest of our text box. So you want this box checked right here. Now let's go ahead to the font and let's choose a good font. That looks pretty good. Now let's add an effect, and we could choose the same effect that we have on our title, on our book cover, which is this gradient yellow. I like this because it makes the text stand out pretty nicely, and the viewers can read along with this book. Okay, so let's go back here, and with this text box selected, I want to come up to the tab that says animation, and then we're going to come over here to where it says captions, and we're going to click on that. This is going to be the perfect animation. Now for the animation for the text, I'm going to go with this one right here where it says pop-up discoloration. So I'm going to choose that one. Okay, so as you can see, that turns out perfect.
One was exploring the dense jungle of the Amazon when he stumbled.
So that's going to make this video a lot more engaging and interesting to the viewers, because that animated text is going to keep them hooked and keep them interested in watching the story. I just need to click enter on this text so that I keep it to 1 to 2 words per line so that it fits on this blurred side over here. So I'm just going to do that real quick and I'll come right back. I just finished fixing all the text so that there's only 1 to 2 words per line, And now we could go ahead and take a look at the final product. This will be the video that we can upload to our FACELESS channel to be reading short stories, short children's stories, and bedtime stories. You know, all the stories that are going to get a ton of views and going to get watched. But remember, this is not a get rich quick scheme. What this is a great way to start creating a passive income stream for yourself. Okay, if you stick to it, if you continue to upload, and if you stay consistent and upload consistently, then I promise you guys, you will be successful in the end. All it takes is a little bit of hard work. You can do it all for free with AI. Every single tool that I showed you guys today is completely for free. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and take a look at what we've created with a little bit of hard work.
Dino discovery in the jungle. Juan was exploring the dense jungle of the Amazon when he stumbled upon some odd tracks in thick mud. They looked like huge three-toed footprints. Following the tracks, Juan pushed through tall ferns and hanging vines. He gasped as he emerged into a clearing where he saw a nest made of branches and leaves. Sitting in the nest was a giant green egg with blue spots. Juan looked around cautiously, but didn't see any sign of the creature that laid the huge egg. As he stepped closer, he was amazed by the size of it. The egg was nearly as big as he was. Mesmerized, Juan reached out to touch the blue spots. Just then, the egg started shaking and rocking back and forth. Juan leapt back right before the egg exploded with a loud crack. Emerging from the slimy shell was a tiny green dinosaur hatchling. The tiny dinosaur blinked at Juan, then let out a little squeak. Juan realized it thought he was its mother. As the cute hatchling nuzzled him affectionately, Juan couldn't help but smile. He decided to name it Dino. Juan knew he couldn't leave the helpless little Dino all alone in the jungle. He picked up the dinosaur hatchling and placed him carefully in his backpack for safekeeping. Dino chirped happily as they headed out of the jungle. Back at the research camp, Juan raced excitedly up to the scientists to show them the amazing discovery he had made. He opened his backpack to reveal little Dino, blinking in the sudden sunlight. The scientists gasped and murmured in disbelief at the rare dinosaur. The researchers documented all of Dino's features and unique traits. They had never seen a dinosaur quite like him. As they studied him gently, Dino cooed and nuzzled against Juan. The scientists agreed Juan had made an incredible and history-making discovery. Juan was awarded for the groundbreaking discovery of the new dinosaur species. But he knew Dino didn't belong in a stuffy laboratory. As the scientists slept that night, Juan snuck back to return his special friend to the wild jungle home. Juan brought Dino back to the empty nest. The little dinosaur chirped excitedly when he smelled the familiar scents of his home. Juan gave his scaly buddy one last pat goodbye before leaving him safely hidden, once more alone but at home in the mysterious jungle.
Okay, so there we have it. That was the final product, and I think that looked pretty good. I would say that that was very comparable to what the woman's channel I would say you could compare that to the woman's channel, and we made a video that's just as good of quality. Now, maybe the voiceover is a little bit robotic, but like I said before, they do have different effects and different tones that you could play around with to try and make them a little bit more human-like. Or you could go ahead and bite the bullet and go over to 11 Labs and pay a little bit of money a month, maybe a couple bucks a month, and you can get a more human-like sounding voiceover. Or you could just go ahead and narrate it yourself. You know, it's always good to give it a human touch. Like I said, I think this is a great niche for any beginner, anybody with any type of skill level. It doesn't matter if you have 0 skills. So that's it, you guys. That's a way to create an entire book and a voiceover to read along with it, with the illustrations and the animated text as you read along with it. And we've done that completely for free. I didn't pay for anything. So there you go. Make sure you guys subscribe and let me know if you're going to go ahead and try this method. And if you do, I want to see how your results turn out. I want to see how your channel does. So go ahead and leave a comment down below if you have any questions on this method, or if you want to see any other faceless channel method that we could do completely for free so that you guys can start earning a passive income stream. Make sure you guys comment down below and I will be happy to help you. Or you could send me an email at madebywebb@gmail.com if you guys need any help. I'll see you guys in the next video.